Welcome to Screencast 20 for the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland Introduction to Vectorworks. This is the last of the screencasts where we're going to be using the letters, your name and the dimensions. But what we're going to do is to add a title block and a border, and then you're going to send me save as the Vectorworks file. You're going to send me the Vectorworks file, and then you're going to export the sheet layer as a PDF and send me that as well. So 2 things to send to me at the end of this task. Please name your Vectorworks file and your PDF with your name and not task 2, because I can get 15 task 2s and it's very difficult. So your name must be the name of the Vectorworks file and the name of the PDF. So the title block and the border just kind of makes everything look a little bit neater, and it gives some critical information to the people receiving it as to who drew the drawing, the date it was drawn, the show file, the version that we're on, and most importantly the scale as well, because we probably tend not to have these drawing titles on our drawings that we share back and forward for production information. So to find the sheet border stuff, we will go into the dims and notes, which is this little ruler and pencil. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see title block border. Double click on that, and then just OK. All I did was OK there, and then we don't really need to do much. It's if you've noticed, it came up with lock to page center and scale to page size, so we don't need to do anything apart from just click, and it drops it into the page. Now the title block settings are a little chunky for A4, so we're going to do a little bit of editing down to make things look a little bit nicer. So in the title block border settings here, we've got the title blocks highlighted here. You see it's glowing orange. So title block settings here in the object info palette will bring us into the title block border settings page. So if we go to the top, the sheet border, which is a little thick and it's got these numbers around it, so we're going to just keep this unstyled at the moment. So we're going to change these numbers, change them down to about 5, which is just 5 millimeters round the edges. Yeah, and then you should see that changing live in this little there, see how they changed down. So I didn't really mean to hit enter there. I'm just doing that to show you that it's changed and they've gone to a 5 millimeter border. Probably still need to move this viewport in a little bit to kind of get the shuffle things around so they're showing properly. Your page will be entirely different to mine, so just shuffle things around. Incidentally, as you move your viewports around, any dimensions should be contained within the viewport, so they are again another reason to dimension within the viewport. Let's go back, I'll highlight that again, and let's go back to title block settings, and we'll get rid of that 1, 2, 3 and AB that's around the outside. Sheet zones and grids, so we're going to just put that 0 in there, and so we don't want any sheet zones and grids. The title block, there's no title block in there at the moment, so we'll choose. If you click on the little drop down arrows, Vectorworks libraries, title block border styles, there are a couple of options in there. Simple title blocks is pretty good. There's I think there's ABTT stuff. I thought there was ABTT stuff in there as well. Simple title blocks, anyway, simple title block 1 is that. We'll choose that. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like just now, but we'll select that just now and see how it looks. This just come up because I was using it before. That's fine. Title block, and then what I need to do, I won't be able to edit that until I convert it to unstyled, and then that gives me the ability to change it. Scale factor, it's a little big, so 1 being full size, so we'll put that down to 0.5, and down it goes. Again, I hit enter there and that took me back to this page. So just to see that 0.5 is half the size, and 0.5 didn't seem much, but it kind of shrunk it by half in one dimension and half in the other dimension, so kind of almost like a quarter. Let's go back to title block settings. I think the border looks a bit thick. Maybe I've changed things by choosing the, yeah, it's gone back to 13 again. So 13, go back to 5, 5, 5, title block, unstyled, bottom right, edit title block, so project data, and sheet data. So sheet data is this sheet here, which is sheet 1, it's today's date. And let's zoom in on the title block, a little thing there, and we can see, so the drawing number there, we could put in as, let's put in our scale there. So we've got lots of scales, so we'll go back and we'll change 1 to 25 at A4. I only did the other, that says 15, 1 to 25 at A4. That I only did the other scales to show you, to highlight and hammer home the idea you can have multiple scales of viewports. We would kind of normally only have one scale on each page, and A4, to be fair, is a little small for what we normally do. I'm just doing that just now so you can send me PDFs and print out your own work in the domestic printers, rather than sending things at A2, A0. PDFs can get quite confusing. So that'll put 1 to 25 at A4. So it's worth putting at and the page size in there. Drawing number, drawn by, see that populated that as soon as I clicked into another box. So put your name, it's got the date, and untitled one is the name of the, you can see in the top here, untitled one education version. That's just the name of my, I haven't saved my file yet, that your file may have your name on it if you've sent it to me, or you've saved it under your name previously. So that's where untitled comes. But that's enough, that simple title block there, converted to unstyled. I needed to go back and do the sheet border again, unfortunately. Sheet data there, file name's untitled there, just because that's what it is up here. Sheet data is where you put all the information you want in this simple title block. So we can OK it now, and that's given me a thinner border and a title block down there. What I then want you to do is to file, export, so save that and send that to me. Yours will probably only have, well, should only have one viewport on it, 21 to 25, with a lot more dimensions on it. Center that up. So that makes more sense now. So that's 1 to 25 A4. There's my dimensions. That's what I would be sending, and also file, export, PDF. Get into the habit of doing this. There it is there in the middle, not the 3D one. Export PDF. And we will, that's pretty much, leave all that. Yours might say something other in there. Export that, and because it's a Mac, this would relaunch it into preview in the Mac, but you can just save it somewhere and send it on to me. So that's task 2, is to have a sheet layer with a nice thin border, a title block which is a reasonable size with information in it, your name, the date, the scale, and your name dimensioned in all useful dimensions. I'm going to say that again, useful dimensions. Imagine someone is going to cut out your name from plywood or from material, or sculpt it out of polystyrene or something. What dimensions would they need in order to do that? This one here doesn't have enough information. I don't know what that dimension down there is. I don't know what that dimension in there is. Likewise this one. So have a think carefully, and that long dimension there. Have a think carefully about what dimensions you would need to convey to somebody making those meter high letters out of some material. That's a critical part in your dimensioning. Okay, I look forward to receiving these. Don't go on to the next task until I have commented and said it's okay to move on to the next task.